Gentlemen, welcome back to MGTOW Money. This, of course, is the second wave of MGTOW, where we provide some actionable ideas, things that you can put into place immediately that will increase the options in your life. They'll increase the choices in your life because you do always have an option. And as I've said previously, we are way beyond discussing women, gynocentrism, hypergamy, so on. If you need that type of information, if you're wondering about, I'm not sure if I want to be involved with women or not. If you're not sure, then this is not the place for you. There's plenty of other material for you that can discuss women and why you shouldn't be involved with them. So, needless to say, let's talk about today's topic. And first, though, we'll review last week's homework. While I realize that some of you are still probably going through withdrawal symptoms from that, just like that crack addict that I alluded to last week, we're going to persevere. Last week, your homework, of course, was you were going to be listing all your debts, every single debt. If you owed $1.27 to your best friend to the $150,000 you might owe to the bank, you were going to list every single debt that you had. And the thing that I was emphasizing was immediately pay off, clear off, and attack those smallest debts first. The smallest debts first, get those paid off, get them off your list as soon as possible. In other words, you want to get that list down to a small, manageable number of debts, just a few, so that you can focus, so that you can feel confident in what you're doing, so that you've got some momentum, and you can start chipping away at those larger ones, because that's what it's all about. Once you get those debts paid down, your choices, your options will exponentially start increasing. I guarantee you. I'm speaking from an experience of myself as many, many other men. Number two, if you remember, and here's going to be the tough one for many of you, what I urged everyone to do was, for those of you who are struggling in debt, and I know many people are, 4 out of 5 Americans, I'm sure at least, and 4 out of 5 people probably in the Western world, if not even higher, 80% plus, are dealing with some sort of debt. What I was urging is get rid of your credit cards. What I mean is physically cut up any credit cards that you have. Not tomorrow, immediately. Get rid of them. I emphasize, though, this is temporary. This is not permanent. I'm not saying you can't ever have a credit card, that you shouldn't ever use credit, etc. I'm saying to do this is a temporary type of situation that will only continue until you've got your debts paid off. And as I mentioned, in the future, we'll be discussing some fantastic ways that actually you'll be able to take advantage of credit cards and take advantage of credit card companies and letting them pay you as opposed to you paying them. So, with that said, while I understand these things can be difficult, I promise you, if you take nothing else from this, if you will get rid of your debts and get your credit cards under control, you will guaranteed increase your options. Now, today's topic. Quick anecdote. In my younger years, I spent money like a drunken sailor. I couldn't spend money fast enough. I think I must have set world record in terms of, as soon as money came into my pocket, I think I was sprinting to figure out some way to spend it, running to the store, just getting rid of it as quick as I possibly could. And I continued to do that for many, many years until I hit rock bottom. And I mean, it wasn't black as night. If there's something blacker than night, that's where I was. When you've got no money, no job, you're divorced. Well, your wife's cheated on you, so effectively you're divorced because she's thrown you out. You are deep, deep, deep down in that deep pit, that deep well of hell, if you will. And it is really difficult. And it is a real struggle. And some of you may be there. And brother, I know what it feels like. I've been there. But I got myself out. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. Because I was like a phoenix coming out of the ashes, and I turned myself around. I was a Lazarus coming back from the dead. And here's how I did it. First, it goes without saying that I got a job. Okay? That's important. And I know you say that sounds like a cliche, but I got a source of income. But to take it a step further, here's exactly what I did when I started having that consistent source of income, that consistent source of money coming in. I put myself on, and I know this is going to sound like a cliche, but I guarantee you it works. I put myself on a savings plan. Yes, I'm talking about a savings plan. And let me be specific what I'm talking about. I got involved in a savings plan, and I understand not everyone's employer is the same, etc. And depending upon the country you might be in, it might have different circumstances, etc. But the principle is going to remain the same. I got on a savings plan where money was automatically, keyword, automatically deducted from my paycheck and went into, if you will, a savings account. So, example, if I'm receiving $100 a week in pay, it would automatically deduct $10 of that $100, 10% of the $100. It would automatically, without me even seeing it, go into this savings account. And the savings account, by the way, was not difficult, was fairly difficult, if you will, cumbersome for me to be able to reach. And that went on for several years. So where I was having automatically a certain percentage of my income, automatically, I can't repeat this enough, taken from my paycheck, I wasn't even seeing it, and it was put in this savings account off to the side, if you will. So for example, for many, many years, I'm receiving X amount of dollars every 2 weeks, and automatically money was being put aside in the savings account. Lo and behold, after you've done that over a period of some years, and after you've received X percentage of interest and or rate of return on your money, you can end up with a significant stash of money. Now, again, let me summarize what was happening here. I was having outside financial discipline, because that's what it is. I was having outside financial discipline imposed upon me because I didn't know if I had the will that I could do it myself. So I allowed this system, if you will, to do it for me. So at one point, I was having, no joke, 50% of my income put aside in this savings account. So it forced me, I didn't have any choice, to live on a lot less money than I actually had in my bank account. So it forced me, as you can imagine, for many years to make a lot of sacrifices. I didn't have a new car. I wasn't buying lots of new clothes. I wasn't living in a large home, etc. For many, many years, that was the case. It forced that discipline upon me. However, as I came through that process and as the years passed by, I ended up accumulating, as you can imagine, a significant stash of cash. And that's exactly what we're going to do for you, because this is what you're going to do. And here's going to be your homework. Here's what you need to do. Whether you arrange something with your employer, and again, I understand circumstances are different depending upon your employer, depending upon your country, etc. But I guarantee you there's some way you can do this. You can set up some way where money is automatically deducted from your paycheck or from your bank account, which is a second option, although I think it's preferable if you can do it automatically from your paycheck and put aside into some sort of savings mechanism. In the United States, for example, it's called a 401k plan. And to take it a step further, as part of your homework, you are going to crank it up to the maximum percentage that you possibly can. So whatever the maximum amount that you can possibly get away with, I mean, you've got basically almost tears in your eyes. It's going to be so hard. But you know what? You can do it because your older self, speaking from experience, will thank your younger self. your older self would say, man, you were freaking brilliant when you were 25 years old and started doing this when you're 45, and you look at your bank statement, you're like, wow, look at all the money I've accumulated, because you can do it. You can do it, and you will do it. So, with that said, you know what your homework is. Number one, you're going to start setting up an automatic savings plan so you can get that built-in self-discipline with your money and start building up a freedom foundation, because that's what that stash of cash is, a freedom foundation for the rest of your life to increase your options and increase your choices. Gentlemen, as always, I appreciate you listening. This is John Galt. We will get together soon. Thanks for listening.